Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
Michael has requested this. The superhuman.
Oh man.
Okay, 3,
Oh, that's a
2,
good list.
1, let's go.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky,
And I'm Michael.
I am a Johnny.
and we make up Anime Casuals. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to the casual discussion. Don't forget. Wait. Oh no, never mind. You already did see the weekly review. That's right. We do. It's very confusing how we record these things, but we do them. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the weekly review of Tiger and Bunny Part 2 of Season 2. Anyway, today on the casual discussion, we are talking about athletic anime characters. Now, we did do a casual discussion about swole bodies, which, obviously they're very athletic in their own right. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about specifically athleticism. So if you saw them do like something very athletic, or they look like they could do something like that, then yeah, not talking about like bodybuilding athleticism. So yeah, we'll see where we all took this. But since I came up with this particular idea, why don't we get straight into it? Where do I want to start here? Okay, this one is probably one of my favorite characters in like a sports anime, because of how cool he is. So there's a lot of characters in Haikyuu that you could probably pick, but I'm gonna have to pick with I'm gonna have to go with Nishinoya. He's the main libero of the team, and he's always working like overtime. Like anytime these guys are like drastically outmatched, for some reason he's on that level of the other team, which is insane to me. It's always like the funniest thing. Like everybody will be like, "We're so overwhelmed," and then Nishinoya will be like, "Caught it," and they're like, "We have hope again." And I think they literally call him, yeah, they literally call him like the guardian deity of like Krasno or something like that. It's like, can you imagine being that OP? But also, there was this libero that does like he's the USA libero for the Olympics, and he did like a reaction to Nishinoya. And one of the things he mentioned is just how hard it is to do some of these things, and he's just doing them all the time, Rolling Thunder, all that stuff, and it's just like it's so impressive to me to watch. Because I remember, I don't know if you guys were there. I know like me and Paul and some of the other guys got together for like a beach volleyball thing, and I almost died. I was so hard. I was almost dead. And then I did regular volleyball. I was like, oh, this sucks too. Like it's all hard. I can't deal with all this running and trying to catch stuff. I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. So yeah, Nishinoya is my first pick. What about you, Michael?
Oh, well, my first pick is Hinata from Haikyuu. So,
Delete.
I was like, I gotta start picking these up before these other boys get them. Mainly why I put Hinata was physically. I mean, he's one of the smaller guys, but his jump height is so like enormous for how short he is, and his speed is sometimes faster than people can actually see, which for being a regular human person is ridiculous. Like, I don't think I've ever witnessed a human where I'm like, oh, wow, they're over there now. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know, Lucky or Johnny, have
Not
you
yet.
ever
No,
experienced
that
a
would be cool.
regular human who's been able to move faster than you can see?
No.
But several times during the anime, does he move faster? He's like, oh, I thought he was over there. Now he's over there. And it's like, wow. That's like talking in terms of like just sheer athleticism. That's insane to me. Both jump height and speed. And then just his ability to like take pain is actually pretty impressive too. Cause I think it's sometimes he like ripped his like finger open, like blocking something. And dude, if you've never like split a finger or gotten like a really bad, like, or like you're lifting weights and like one of your blisters like cuts open from like lifting weights and you just keep pushing through, that's some pain right there in your little finger, your little fingies. So, Hinata, you're a prime example of a human specimen.
I think those are both awesome picks because they're also just constantly running the whole time. So I mean, I'm just gonna piggyback a little bit on that, just because they have Hinata. You just keep running back and forth, just don't stop ever. And that's insane. I would never want to do that. I mean, ever. Volleyball's terrible to play, not watch.
Watch.
Anyway, my pick, which I'm surprised Michael didn't try and jump on this. It's gonna be from Spy X Family. Spy Family. I don't know. Depends how you say it. Doesn't really matter. But she is a ridiculous woman doing ridiculous things constantly.
It's true.
I mean, it just in like one of the later episodes recently, she does this gnarly move where she jumps. She like backflips onto a pillar, and then up into the ceiling. What? What did I just hit? Oh,
yourself.
Oh. Interesting. Okay, sorry. It was just like that. It was shocking. But then she holds herself up in the ceiling and just is like not even worried about it, just watching everything. I thought that was all insane. I mean, like obviously we knew she was a crazy assassin, but one guy saw it. One guy. No one else was like, "The hell was that?" Like no one. Mm-hmm. It was insane. It's so quiet. Shh.
She also kicked a man hard enough that made him bounce off of a floor and 3 walls or something.
I was gonna say that was like six bounces. I almost just did 5 and gave up.
6 bounces.
But just back and forth. So she's insane, and she's gonna do so many other crazy things protecting Anya, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for Borf.
Sheer dog potential. Borf.
Honey, quit trying to make Borf happen. Anyway,
it's too late. It's already happened. It's predicted.
Oh man. Okay, so my next pick. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with this. If I want to go with my joke one too early, or if I want to.
Dude, if you know what? Joke one too early, I'll miss my joke one.
Oh, that's true. So I'm gonna go actually with a character that he was kind of like the embodiment of one character was the embodiment of brains and strategy, and the other character was very much the epitome of just like brute strength and like speed and stuff. But this is from Code Geass. This is Suzaku Kurorugi. I just remember when all of a sudden there's a scene. I'm not gonna spoil exactly what the scene is, but there's a scene in there where he just completely wrecks shop and basically just makes somebody look like a little bish. But anyway, and there's just so many moments where a little bish, just a little bish. But I mean, if I'm remembering right, like he was a soldier and all this stuff. But soldiers don't they don't. First off, he's in high school still, so we still got to give him like that credit and everything. But he's just so ridiculous. His reflexes are great, and as compared to like Lelouch, where Lelouch is very much like a thinking kind of person. Not saying that Suzaku is like dumb or anything, but just the crazy physical ability that he has is like almost just undeniable. Like it's just something that's such a force of nature that it kind of like it kind of like battles that a little bit. Actually, I don't want to mention the character just in case you guys mention him later, but like Dr. Stone has a little bit of that at some point. But yeah, I just remember seeing him do some of the things that he does, and just also how he uses that as like an honorable thing, because a lot of people they use their athleticism for different things, like for pride and all that stuff. He kind of uses it not for himself, which is kind of interesting, because if I had that kind of power, I'll tell you what, man, I'd be like doing stupid Guinness Book of Records, like see how much how many bricks I can break and all that BS. Like whatever. He's like, no, I'll just do it for my country, no big deal. No. So yeah, that's my next pick,
I guess.
Well, I'm gonna start with my I'm gonna put my second one as a joke answer, but it is also true. I'm giving these individuals a huge 2 thumbs up for just endurance. I mean, I feel like out of anybody who's out there, like of a lot of anime characters, these characters probably have the most endurance out of all of them. And we're going to talk about Zell, Stunk, and Crimvale. And they're the 3 individuals from Interspecies Reviewers. So I mean, I feel
Dang
like
it, Michael.
I
I
understand now. Go on.
I gotta fit interspecies reviewers in every category that's
Oh my
possible out there.
goodness. It's
But like,
impressive so
serious,
far. It's impressive.
yeah, and they always have something to do with the category. And in this, I feel like their athleticism, at least in endurance. I mean, because I guess what they are is like a sex blogger. But like to be their job, you have to be athletically fit. Like
Mhm.
you can't just be like well endowed. You have to be able to keep up. And there's like one episode where they literally get thrown into like this glass room just full of lusty demons or lusty like low level succubi. And they last like way better than I feel like anybody on this planet would. And they're not dead by the end. They are tossed out and dry, withered husks, but they live.
I think they signed a waiver just in case they
They
die.
did, yes.
So,
And
happen.
yeah, literally. And just watching all the stuff they go through, while it's very funny, but it's also like, dang, like you would have to have some level of endurance and be pretty darn like I don't know, proud of yourself, like confident in your own abilities to be able to do this stuff. Like they were like, oh yeah, we can handle like 47 low level succubi. They couldn't, but I mean, like,
Readers.
yeah, I feel like the average human person, like no matter what you are, I think would be dead. So I mean, like, congratulations to them.
There's probably a lot of situations in that anime that a normal average person would probably be dead, but
Yes.
I still agree with you
Mhm.
wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I
that makes
can't
me
believe
think
you
like
chose that as one of your picks. I was just sitting here trying not to bust up. I was like, all of a sudden, Michael just started getting his statistics like 47 succubi, and then I was like, can't believe we went with
Dude,
that. Oh, it's so
Krim,
good.
Stunk, and Zal, dude.
I think that's fair.
Mhm.
I really do. I think that's
Mhm.
fair. So my next one. Let me look at my.
Gotta have
listing.
statistics when you're talking about this kind of stuff.
Oh, it makes sense.
It's gonna be Hinamaru from Hinamaru Sumo.
Mm.
Because this
Another
man
short king.
has he has everything going against him in this world that he has chosen to embrace. The world of sumo, where size is kind of everything. It really is. I mean, that's the one thing. Every now and then I'll see a sumo fight. I should probably look for them more. But have you guys ever seen one where it's like literally a normal sized person, quote unquote, versus just a giant of a sumo? And they
Yes.
Really? So
Yes.
they do all right.
No.
See. Still, that's why it's anime and it's great. Because what if? But man, it's so fun to root for this guy because he's got such a great spirit and he goes into this sport with so much just energy, and you want to root for him, and that's the point of the whole anime. And it's just it's so great. Even when he doesn't quite make it, it's so close, and he gives off such a good show that it's always so entertaining, and just the athleticism is ridiculous.
To be fair, he is not an average build short king. He is all 100% muscle. I wouldn't be surprised if his body fat percentage was 1.
He's a small, just stump, thick wood.
Yes. That
wording.
Yep. And me coming off of my pick to your wording.
Take it away, Lucky.
Oh man, dude. So actually, a little fun fact: I do have a cousin who is a sumo wrestler. Or I never met him. Apparently, he held me as a baby. But his name's Konoshiki. He's one of the first non-Japanese sumo wrestlers to make it to not Yokozuna, the one right below that.
Right.
But the reason why he made it that far is probably because of how this fool was like 6'6" and like weighed like 600 pounds. So, so yeah, there's probably like a pretty good,
It helps.
Yeah. Let's just say Samoans a little bit. Maybe we're built for this kind of stuff. But anyway,
they are sumo.
They're embracing. They're culturally appropriating our fatness. How dare they? So my joke pick, but kind of serious. I'm just remembering this episode is the Paradox Brothers from Yu-Gi-Oh. The only reason why I say this is because of how many times they do this flip. They do it literally every time they do a riddle. So if you guys don't know the Paradox Brothers, Yugi and Joey go into this
Insert
setting
clip.
on the on the Duelist Island, and hey, let's do a tag team duel against these two brothers, and the brothers like ask them like paradoxical questions, and every single time they do it, they do these what is it called, cartwheels, and then do a flip. And since they keep reusing the scene, so they don't have to like redraw it, they do it like 5 or 6 times throughout like the entire thing while they're dueling. By the way, like they don't wait to stop. They don't do anything like that. Like no, we're just gonna go
Or
ahead
put
and
the cards down.
yeah, exactly. It's
That's
like, and
crazy.
plus they're telling you a riddle while they're doing it. Like they don't just do the flip and then they tell you the riddle. No, they'll tell you the whole riddle, land, and then tell you the last part of the riddle. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of insane what they do all the time, and also just the fact that they do a bunch of flips in the air and don't come down. Like, I mean, that's not athleticism, that's just defying gravity. But I mean, to a certain degree, that's pretty impressive. And the fact that they do it all in sync, kind of like what do they call those? The synchronized swimmers and all that stuff, whatever they call them. Like the way that they do it is ridiculous. But yeah, I just had to put them in because I for some reason when I thought about this list, I was like, that's a really stupid thing that I remember happening when I was a kid, and just being like, little kid me is like, how could anybody do that for that long? It's almost like, I don't know if you guys ever do this, but when somebody's underwater, you try and hold your breath as long as them to see if like this is possible, and a lot of times it's not.
All the
Like,
time.
especially with all of the like the movement they're doing and all the energy they're expending, you're just like, no, this would not happen. So yeah, the Paradox Brothers are by the way, I don't know their names, but I'm just gonna call them the Paradox Brothers. I think that's probably what they're called.
It's
so either way.
it's Mr. and Mr.
Gate
Paradox.
Guardian.
That's not the name.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But you know what I'm talking about.
Is it
You
is it
know.
like
Yeah.
Pops and Docs? I don't know. So that leads perfectly into my next pick. My next pick is Kaminashi from Kaijo. So like Kaminashi herself is not like overly like superhuman in the beginning of the anime. Like, I mean, most of the women in Kaijo is like it's kind of ridiculous. But at some point, she like learns how to flip and rotate herself with enough like never losing centrifugal force, where literally the power of her hip is enough to like shoot a shockwave through an arena. And to be honest, if anyone who is a human can do that, I think they are like, they have the power to kill with a hip. I mean, that's pretty insane. I mean, taking one to the jaw, you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Across the room, you just die.
yeah, exactly.
Just knocks you out
Uh-huh.
on your face.
And and she fought somebody who can like store kinetic energy and then blast it back out. And the fact that she's able to like fight back against that, that's literally insane. That's another level of athleticism, because eventually she gets like a 16 pack or something. I don't know, but she should have a 16 pack because of like the sheer amount of flips that she does. And I think in some episodes she did it like 3 times, like within 5 minutes. And this is why we're bringing it from the Paradox Brothers, because that's insane. And she just doesn't do a flip. She does like a flip and a spin. She does like corkscrews, all while like swinging her hip around, and everything's based on the swing of her hip. So I'm like, geez.
That would be gnarly.
Yeah.
I'd almost like to see someone just make a mold of that and just, this is the force it would take, and just watch it explode. 'Cause that'd be incredible to see.
Especially on someone else's hip joint or like breast or like because I think that's the only part of somebody you can, or their jaw.
I'm just like, realistically, I think you would just throw all of this on you away.
You
Just
you would
whip
need a
it
new
away.
hip.
Just there's no
Yeah.
more meat on your bones. It's all gone.
Oh, you're just bones.
I'm gonna make a shockwave. I don't know how else you do that. Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
I mean, that's a good like weight loss routine. Just like flip and corkscrew until you're just nothing. You're just bones.
Makes sense.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Let us know in the comments.
People out here dieting. Come on.
Just throw your fat away.
What do I want my next one to be? Okay.
What do you want your next one?
I'm gonna give it Mirio from My Hero. Because
Good pick.
he's such a tragic, character, and yet he's still fighting the good fight and doing everything he can, and still being a hero. Like, no questions about it. But man, his quirk and the things he has to be able to do with it to be able to do his quirk is pretty insane. And even without his quirk, with all the knowledge he has, he's able to take on, I don't remember his name, but that scary mafia Birdman who just destroys things. It's a terrible name for him, but
Yeah, it's like Overload or something. I don't remember.
Overload. I'm like, Reed Destro would be a better name for him, but I know it's not that. Different person.
Overhaul.
Like,
That's what his name is.
Overhaul. There you go.
So yeah, he takes on Overhaul for a good amount of time, and I mean, it's outstanding to watch, and I'm still hoping he gets his quirk back somehow, or worst case he gets him back in a bad way. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating at that point. So, Mirio, he's athletic as hell.
That's Johnny standing by as not a salty My Hero fan. Yeah.
No salt. No sodium.
My hero. No snap, bro. So yeah, I think maybe lightning round would be a good idea right about now.
Are we saying that for personal reasons?
Well, no, I got like a ton of them, and I'm like, I don't know when to stop.
Oh, yeah, this is whip through them. Let's go.
So okay. So first one up is just I didn't know where to put him on here, but since he does show athletic feats on there, Saitama from One Punch Man. He does that whole superhero test, and he does that
He's
like
technically
that
human.
dude, that side thing is ridiculous that he does. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, that's so ridiculous. Then next up is Rock Lee, obviously. Shows probably one of the first like superhuman feats that we see in the. Obviously, there's a lot of superhuman stuff, but like when you see those weights come off and you realize, oh, this guy's just walking around with like, I don't know how many pounds that is, but like, I'm sure if we could probably figure that out, like how many pounds it would be to like make a huge explosion if you dropped it off of a statue. Then another one from Naruto would be Mifune. He's the samurai dude. One of the things they mention is people can't use ninjutsu against him because he's so like he'll go up to them so fast that they can't weave signs. And there's already a lot of people in that universe who go really fast, but people can still weave signs. So I'm like, I mean, by logic, it seems like this dude's really, really freaking fast, and he has to be just because he doesn't have any ninjutsu or anything like that. Next up, obviously, I have to just like Michael has to put in interspecies reviewers. I have to mention Guts from Berserk. The way he swings around a 400-pound sword is absolutely ridiculous. So he would probably be like Barry Bonds times like 50 if he played baseball. And especially if he got to use that sword, he'd just be hitting him all day long. And then I think that might. Oh, and then Ippo from Hajime no Ippo. There are some pretty crazy feats that he does that are pretty like. I mean, you could see somebody doing this, but I mean, for such a young kid to be able to pull it off is ridiculous. So yeah, that's the rest of my list. Michael, what do you got left?
Nice.
Okay, I wanted to say Baki and his dad, but they are physical specimens, but I don't remember if they ever really show like athleticism besides like the fighting. And I think it's really hard to see athleticism from the way you beat up another human. So, I mean, like, I guess the best one was like maybe the praying mantis, where his athleticism is he believes something so hard he literally takes damage from it, which is kind of insane. Yeah. Oh, his dad though does the river thing, which is insane, where he like swims up a river that's supposed to be like impossible, and then he just like zooms out of it and then like lands perfectly fine.
He fights an elephant, like a giant.
Oh, he does. He fights a bull, an African bull elephant.
So,
which apparently was
they're both crazy.
Yeah, that elephant was supposed to be the worst one. So, yeah, there's some feats of athleticism. I wish there was more, so we could just be like, yeah, this is how strong they are. I put Zoro on there because he actually has a feat of athleticism where he cut through a mountain or a mountain person. And out of One Piece, actually showing how strong you are at some point is kind of insane. And the fact that he shows how strong he is when cutting through a mountain and was actually a death battle stat too. where it was like, yeah, this is how big that mountain was, and this is how much force it takes to cut through it, and that's crazy. I have Jotaro on this list, and I don't know if you could really include athleticism in it because like stopping time is a magical power, but the fact that he can live while his heart is stopped and then restart his heart. And there's other like he also like has at least endurance wise. He gets shot like a bunch of times and is fine. Is stabbed a bunch of times is fine. Jotaro himself is like worthy of all these crazy things, and also the golden wind guy. He also goes through like hell in a handbasket, but he can heal. So I mean, like, doesn't count. But it's sometimes with JoJo, I'm like, you can't have JoJo unless you have a healer on the party. But anyway,
It seems to be the growing trend.
yeah, they're like, hey, they can do crazier stuff because Akai can heal them. And the last one I have is Ash Ketchum, because nobody should be alive after having 10,000 volts pumped through your system.
Kid in Jurassic Park did.
That is true, and I want to change my answer to 1,000,000
That's
volts.
facts.
You know, Johnny, while you're running your part, I'm gonna see how many volts Ash Ketchum took.
Well, speaking of you looking up stuff, Lucky, I looked it up. Apparently, those ankle weights were 10,000 pounds. Anyway,
5 tons.
for Rock Lee.
How can you make ankle weights that are 5 tons?
I don't know. That's just what I found in a casual Google search. Anyway, my list, Vegeta, just because he fights, I guess, an equivalent of just asteroids flying at him, while in a gravity chamber. I mean, that's insane. Plus, he does that every day. He doesn't not train. I mean, I guess nowadays he just fights Goku all the time, but I mean, he used to just train in that gravity thing every day, nonstop. The kid would be like, please, Dad, hang out with me and love me. No, we need to train. We're not doing that. If you train, we'll go to the park. And then, he does what he wants. Naruto, I mean, there's plenty of things that are crazy feats for this guy, but honestly, the biggest one that came out to me, probably because of something I read earlier, was first couple episodes, he learns the multi-shadow clone jutsu, and it's something I always forget. That was a forbidden jutsu. Like, you're not supposed to know that. No one's supposed to know that. And I mean, he is just this little kid, and he managed to learn it. He spent however long into the night, trying to practice this thing, and so I want to give that to Naruto. I just thought of that real quick. What else is on here? Kozuki Oden, because he held up that boiling pot of Oden for a long time, and it was pretty gnarly. And I mean,
literally boiling alive.
Yeah, and that was crazy. I mean, man, poor guy. My last one is gonna be Asta from Black Clover, just because he spent so much time training in the forest just so he could hang out with the other kids, and that's pretty gnarly. Man, I don't know if I would do that. I'd just go inside. I'd find something else to do. I don't know. He got a 6-pack. Just be like, hey guys, can I play? And they were like, I guess. And now everybody wants to play with him.
Yeah.
It's just like Naruto, except he's just ripped.
I found out Pikachu can send out 100,000 volts, and if you get the right move, it's 10 million. So I'm gonna say 100,000 because it's a later move. It's like Volt, Thunderbolt, or something. Okay. I don't know. Thunderbolt. I don't know. But obviously Pikachu did not have that in the first episode. But if it did have Thunderbolt, then that was 100,000 volts Ash Ketchum took, and would probably be dead.
Yep. But
how much to kill a person, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Ash Ketchum is forever young, and I guess he's
volts,
immortal.
So that's
that's a lot.
89,000 more than it takes to kill somebody.
You know what? Now that's pretty impressive. That's pretty goddamn impressive.
Somehow he took that and was okay.
Yeah. Pikachu's are dangerous.
Yes.
Should not happen.
No.
You learn something new every day, whether it be how much weight Rock Lee is running around with, or the fact that you can lose weight by throwing your hips out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed our episode about athleticism. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, or if you guys are listening to this, you're always welcome to email us at animecasuals with an S, real, REAL, at gmail.com. Also, you can check out all things casual at the link tree in the info box or the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep
It
Casual.